Well, for more on the patent war among smartphone makers, we're joined by patent attorney Peter Toren. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Now, Peter, why are we seeing such a surge in patent disputes, especially this year?
I think there are a variety of reasons. The number of patent infringement lawsuits over the past several years has gone down, and we're seeing a kind of a pendulum swinging back to increasing the rights of patent owners. And I think companies that have put some of their patent lawsuits and patent disputes on the back shelf now begin to see that patent infringement lawsuits can be really a business tool to achieve greater market share and be used as both an offensive and a defensive weapon against competitors in the space. So I think companies are really appreciating the value of patents more than they may have in the past several years.
So you're mentioning now that this actually matters more to tech companies when it comes to how they plan out their business operations and their strategy to pretty much plan for these disputes.
Yeah, I mean, there are a number of things that are very important. First of all, having patents to be able to defend against patent lawsuits. And when in our business, we refer to those as defensive patents, because if you're sued by another company, you may have patents in your own portfolio that can then be used to countersue against the company that's suing you. In addition, if a company knows that they may be infringing your patents, they'll think twice about suing you. So it's very important to have a robust patent portfolio to go after infringers, but also to defend when you may be infringing another party's patents.
So we're seeing also Apple's recent struggle in China. So we're seeing it may be suspended from selling its iPhone 5S handsets if a Beijing court rules against it. We also saw that Chinese courts and other authorities ruled in favor of a Chinese leather goods company that has the right to use the word iPhone. Right. So with that being said, how can Apple expand into China, and how much of an impact do these setbacks have on them?
Well, I mean, I think it could potentially be a very serious adverse setback for Apple. I think many people are viewing that as perhaps leverage that the Chinese government or Chinese authorities can take against Apple by using this, because I think amongst American lawyers, we are somewhat, I don't want to say dismissive of the Chinese intellectual property legal system, but I think for American companies, they don't often feel that they will get a fair hearing in Chinese courts, especially in intellectual property disputes against Chinese companies.
Now, Chinese companies also seem to feel the same way, because we're seeing companies like Huawei kind of stepping out, being more proactive when it comes to filing these patent disputes. Now, how does that actually benefit the company to instead be more proactive instead of being on the defense?
Well, I mean, I think it can lead to greater market share. It can lead to increased damage. You can increase your revenue through damage awards, and it really elevates your business and can be used as a real business strategy, apart just from a legal strategy. But to be successful, it has to be part of a business strategy to really justify the expense of a patent lawsuit in the United States, because patent lawsuits in the United States are not cheap. They can cost anywhere, including expert fees and other things, they can cost anywhere up to $5 to $7 million for a intensive, complex patent litigation lawsuit.
And we've seen some of the payouts that were more punitive back in the day, say perhaps in the late 90s, heading into the billion-dollar range. Do we expect to see that now, or are companies being a bit more careful?
Well, that's a very good question. In fact, I think companies are more careful, but part of the reason there was less in the way of very large judgments, so there was also a direction of the top patent court in the country making it very difficult for patent owners to collect damages when a company willfully infringes, intentionally infringes another patent. And there was a Supreme Court case earlier this year that basically not even that long ago, about a month ago, that reversed that decision by the Federal Circuit, the top patent court, and now is going to make it a lot easier for patent owners to get increased profits 2 or 3 times a damage award plus attorney's fees for willful or intentional infringement. So there is a possibility for much larger awards now.
Right, and just quickly, Peter, in terms of the trends you're seeing in the types of tech patents that we could see, we're seeing more movement in the smart car market. Is that where you see things heading?
Well, I think what it always happens is there's the movement in new technology. Smart cars now, it was the mobile phones 8, 10, 12 years ago. So it's always the areas, the new areas where there are a lot of patents, where there are a lot of people fighting for market share, and there are really core technologies that are being developed, and that's the areas that we're going to see a lot of patent wars.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Something we'll definitely keep an eye on. Patent attorney Peter Toren, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.